Welcome back, hunters, to another episode of Supernaturalist. I'm your host, Shelly Meyer, and this morning we step into the shadows of the season 1 finale of Supernatural, an episode that doesn't just redefine the show's mythology, it rewrites everything the Winchesters thought they knew about evil. This is Devil's Trap. It's an episode filled with possession, demonology, ancient symbols, and the disturbing question at the center of every belief system. Are demons real? And if so, where do they come from? This morning, I'm going to dive into the real and fictional lore behind demons, the history of Devil's Trap symbols, what demons want in real life and on Supernatural, what exorcisms actually do, whether possession has ever been documented, and who the real monsters might actually be. So grab your Latin, your salt, your rosary beads, and if you're Dean Winchester, your shotgun full of rock salt. Let's begin. What is a demon? Real lore versus supernatural lore. Let's start with the basics. The definition. Real world demonology. Demons are far older than Christianity. In fact, they appear in nearly every ancient culture. In ancient Mesopotamia, spirits called Utuku haunted the living, causing nightmares and illness. In Sumerian myth, about 4,000 years old, the wind demon Pazuzu guarded against even worse demons, meaning demons weren't always evil. They were just forces. In Jewish and early Christian texts, fallen angels became demons, cast out of heaven after a celestial rebellion. Their leader, you got it, Lucifer. Their goal was to corrupt humanity. And in Islamic tradition, demons appear as jinn, supernatural beings capable of possession. Now, this isn't the typical jinn of Supernatural. They're very, very different, and we'll get to that more. Across cultures, demons represent chaos, temptation, loss of control, fear of the unknown, and the dark parts of human nature. As for Supernatural's demonology, it makes a very bold shift from this. Demons aren't fallen angels on Supernatural, and they aren't jinn. They're human souls twisted in hell. A demon is what happens when a soul suffers for centuries and the humanity is burned away and only rage, hunger, and corruption remain. That difference is important because on the show, anyone can become a demon, even a good person. That's much scarier than any ancient myth. The Devil's Trap and ancient magic meets TV. Devil's Trap refers to a Solomonic sigil, a circle with inscriptions used to contain, confuse, and command demons. What's the real lore behind Devil's Traps? Well, in medieval grimoires, especially the Lesser Key of Solomon, and we've heard that phrase before, these symbols were used by magicians to trap demons inside a circle. Some beliefs said the demon could not cross the lines, angels would enforce the circle's power, and demons could be compelled to reveal truth. The idea wasn't that the circle had power, it was the name of the demon inscribed inside, because naming something gives you power over. In the Supernatural version, Bobby Singer introduces Sam and Dean to these traps, painted on ceilings, carved into floors, drawn in chalk. Once a demon steps inside, it can't escape unless the circle is broken, or the inscription is damaged, or someone physically drags the possessed host out of the circle. And the trap is symbolic. It's boundaries, rules, limits. It's a reminder that even evil has laws. This blending of real-world magic with TV fiction is one of the reasons Supernatural's lore feels grounded, why it's so enticing. So, what do demons want? Let's talk a little bit about their motivation. Real-world lore and supernatural lore overlapping more than you might think. In historical demonology, demons often want human corruption. They want souls, they want to influence, they want to be worshipped, and they want control. They whisper, they tempt, and they amplify your worst impulses. Demons basically want to win the long game. They don't attack your body, they attack your beliefs. On Supernatural, their goals are clearer and scarier. On Supernatural, the demons want power over hell's hierarchy. They want freedom for Lucifer. They want an army to fight heaven, and they want Sam Winchester. The last one is the key to the devil's trap. Azazel didn't just murder Mary Winchester. He marked Sam and dozens of other children as potential leaders of a demonic army. His goal in season 1 is simple: capture Dean, turn him, and use him. Demons in Supernatural don't want your soul. They want your destiny. With possession, what happens to the host? Well, possession is one of humanity's oldest fears, and one of the most disturbing elements of this episode in particular. In real-world accounts, especially Catholic tradition, a demon infests a person. It speaks through them. It causes convulsions, changes in voice, sometimes violence, and exorcist attempts to drive all that out. There are documented cases where voices spoke languages a person didn't know, physical strength is increased beyond normal levels, and fear responses were completely absent. Some of these have medieval explanations, others not so much. But on Supernatural, a demon enters through the mouth in a cloud of smoke. We've all seen it. Once inside, it can control the host body, access their memories, use their relationships against loved ones, speak with shifting voices, and heal the host as long as it's possessing the host. The host is a prisoner inside their own body, sometimes aware of what's going on. They know everything that happens, but they can't stop it. That's what makes John Winchester's possession so devastating. His own hands, his own face, is being used as weapons against his own children. Demons don't just break your body, they tear at your emotional weak points. With an exorcism, what really happens? Sam and Dean use Rituale Romanum, the real Catholic exorcism text. But let's look at the exorcism really means. Historically, exorcism involves commanding the demon to leave, invoking divine authority, and reciting sacred names. They use holy water, crosses, or salt, and they create boundaries. In some cultures, exorcisms were loud and dramatic. In most, they're quiet and ritualistic. But on Supernatural, an exorcism forces the demon out and sends it back to hell. And sadly, it often kills the host due to physical damage it has inflicted. And that's the tragic part. Exorcism saves souls, but sometimes the body can't survive the trauma. This is why Devil's Trap is so emotional. Exorcising Azazel might save John, but it might kill him first. And Sam didn't want to kill his father. So are demons real? This is where folklore meets philosophy. Psychology says possession symptoms overlap with dissociative disorders, trauma responses, schizophrenia, high suggestibility, and sleep paralysis. Religion says possession is real and on the rise. In fact, the Vatican increased the number of trained exorcists in recent years, and the US sees thousands of reported cases annually. I don't know if this is actually true. This is the information that I found. Many involve people with no prior psychiatric history. Anthropology states cultures create demons to explain evil and fear, suffering, and loss of control. Demons fill psychological and societal gaps. But Supernatural says demons are mirrors. They represent addiction, grief, and trauma, anger, and human corruption. Whether demons are real or not, their stories reveal something very real about us, and that's the scary part. So the Devil's Trap as a turning point. Season 1 ends with John being possessed, Dean getting beaten by Azazel. Sam is conflicted about whether or not to kill his father with the Colt to kill Azazel, but Azazel is still free and the Colt is almost stolen. And at the very end, the Impala is crushed by a semi-truck. This isn't a monster of the week ending by any means. This is a cosmic war beginning. And demons, they're soldiers of that war. But so are Sam and Dean. Now we move on to supernatural fun facts. As Richard Speight would say, fun facts! Because you deserve a breather after all that demonology. The Devil's Trap used in the show is a modified version of a real Solomonic symbol. The exorcism Latin used in the series is correct. but it's shortened for pacing. The scene where John's possession was inspired by The Exorcist and Fallen. Jeffrey Dean Morgan improvised the whisper, "Kill me, Sam," over and over again. It wasn't in the script. The truck crash at the end was filmed in one take. The Impala used in that shot was a stunt car, not baby. Thank goodness. So, demons and supernatural aren't just villains. They're symbols of grief, trauma, temptation, and the fight inside every human being. They whisper the same question history has whispered to us for thousands of years. Are you strong enough to resist the darkness? Next week, we kick off season 2 with In My Time of Dying, where the afterlife becomes a battleground and the Winchesters must face the price of survival. Until then, hunters, keep your salt lines clean, your devil's traps intact, and remember, the scariest monsters are the ones that know your name. Please remember to like and subscribe and share this with someone you think will enjoy this too. Have a great weekend.